Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Hanny.
Hello everybody, I'm Shane.
And for our Cloze test unit this month, the article is about
Flying the flag of death? The flag of death? Is there a death flag?
The flag of death. I will assume it's like the death. 死神.
Like
kind of
death.
like that.
We just say death. Right, with a capital D.
Capital
so
D.
He has his own flag?
Perhaps, or like the ghost ship? Like the
are you
ghost
thinking
ship
like
from the
Pirates of the
Pirates?
Caribbean or something like that?
Right. 搞不好有幽灵船啊，所以有 the flag of death.
With the skull and the bones coming out of it?
That's right.
That just means pirate. Like, right, a pirate ship is just a skull with bones.
Then
But it is like
What
a
do you
skull and looks like it's dead, and you're
Yeah.
probably dead, or you might be in danger for your life if a pirate's coming after you.
And I'm looking forward to Jack Sparrow's coming. Do you think the article is about Jack Sparrow or the pirate ships?
Probably not. I'm guessing it's probably has something to do with flags and probably the meaning of some flags, like maybe some like a white flag means like you surrender.
举白旗就有投降的意思。
But there's only one way to find out.
So let's jump into our article.
Okay.
In September 2022, for a period of 10 days in Britain, all flags on government buildings were lowered to half-mast. Flags flew not at the top of, but rather part-way down their poles. The action was done in honor of Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 9th. The tradition of flying flags at half-mast when an important figure dies is thought to have begun in the 17th century.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, it's about flying the flag of death.
Okay.
所以这次跟幽灵船啊、什么死亡之神都没有关系，我们其实是要讲降半旗的由来。
Oh, okay. So like flying a flag half-mast.
Right, half mast. 我们待会会看这个字。那这边先讲一下，这里的 fly 不是指飞翔哦，是把旗子升上去升的那个动作，或者是旗子它好像就在飞嘛，在飘扬。Yeah, it looks like it's flying. 那这边的 the flag of death 死亡之旗。那我们说 flying the flag of death 就是用来指说为了纪念过世的人，然后降半旗的那种仪式。好，那我们就来看看课文怎么说吧。
Okay, in September 2022, for a period of 10 days in Britain, all flags on government buildings were lowered to half-mast.
Oh, lowered to half-mast. Half-mast 什么意思？
So half-mast, so like on a boat or a ship, right? A mast is like the pole that they will put like a flag or something like that, or a sail, right? So if you're flying a flag half-mast, it's only going up halfway. Normally we put a flag at the very top, right? And it flies up there. But if somebody were to pass away and we want to honor them, we will fly it at half-mast.
所以老师刚刚提到说 mast 这个字，其实就像我们说这个船尾，就像一个杆子嘛。那在船上它可以用来挂这个帆篷的那种杆子。那在这边 half mast 里面，这个 mast 是指旗杆。我们用这个用语 half mast 来表达下半旗、降半旗，也就是去表达对某人的哀悼的那种意思。所以呢，这时候我们可以用 at half mast 或者是 to half mast 来表示。像你可以说 the flag is flown at half mast.
Right, like the flag is lowered to half-mast.
对，它把它降低到半旗的位置了。Okay, so let's continue reading.
Okay, flags flew not at the top of, but rather partway down their poles.
所以这边就有它的 definition, right?
Right.
所以同学们，你在作答的时候，虽然你看不懂那个字，可是你往后看一点，也许就会有一些线索，有一些 clues， 对不对？所以你看到它这边 partway 就是中途的，也就是说旗子没有在顶端，而是在中途，在这个旗杆的中间。
Right.
所以你就可以猜到这个字的意思
Not
咯。
all of the way, just partway.
Right.
Adverb, right?
Okay, and then the action was done Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 9th. 此举就是这个举动呢，是空格于9月9日辞世的女王伊丽莎白二世。这边看我们片语介系词，我们来看选项喽。So our options are
A, in honor of.
为了向某某某致敬啊，或者是庆祝纪念某某某这样子。
B, in favor of.
可以表达支持、赞成。
C, in spite of.
表示虽然、尽管怎么样。
D, in case of.
就是万一、要是点点点，或是以防以免。好，课文前面有提到说，2022年9月，在英国为期10天当中，政府大楼的所有旗帜都降半旗。语义上来看呢，就是要表达说这个举动啊，是为了向女王伊丽莎白二世来致敬。适合的答案就是 A, in honor of， 就是为了向什么致敬这样子。好，那其他3个选项语义都不符合哦。So our correct sentence would be
The action was done in honor of Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 9th.
Oh,
Very sad.
that was very sad.
Yes.
Right, okay, and the tradition?
The tradition of flying flags at half-mast when an important figure dies is thought to blank in the 17th century.
人们认为在重要人物去世时降半旗的传统空格17世纪。那么题目4个选项呢是动词 begin 的不同变化。大家要考我们时态，我们来看选项哦。So our options are
A, begin. B, be begun. C, have begun. D, be beginning.
好像很难选。好，在作答之前，我们先来学一个句型，就是主词可能是 somebody or something be thought to do something。那这时候你是说一般认为啊，一般相信 people think or people believe blah blah blah， 就是他们认为是怎么样。那这个句型，如果你要描述过去或者是已经发生的事，这时候你的 to do something， 你就要改用 to have 加上过去分词 pp 的方式表达哦。如果说一般认为那座城堡建于12世纪，城堡是在12世纪被建造，这是过去的事。所以我如果说 the castle is thought to be built in the 12th century。
Wrong.
Wrong. 老师，那要怎么讲？
The castle is thought to have been built in the 12th century.
对，因为它是在过去，所以 to have been built。那我们来看看课文句子，它是在表达说，人们认为在重要人物去世时降半旗的传统是始于17世纪，描述发生在17世纪的事，所以用 be thought to have 加上 pp 去表达。The tradition is thought to have begun in the 17th century.
Right.
Right. 所以这些答案我们就要选 C, have
begun. So the correct sentence should read, the tradition of flying flags at half-mast when an important figure dies is thought to have begun in the 17th century.
So people think that the tradition began in the 17th century.
Right, exactly.
So maybe we'll read more about this tradition or the story after the break.
Okay.
In 1612, the British ship Heart's Ease sailed to Greenland on an expedition. Sadly, the ship's captain, James Hall, was killed after being attacked by natives. To mark his death, his crew lowered the ship's flag to half-mast. They did this to make room for another, the invisible flag of death. Today, this tradition is used by many governments around the world to signal the death of a national figure or to show sympathy for the death of another nation's leader. It serves as a quiet, dignified way to show respect and sorrow for a country's great loss when words seem inadequate.
Okay, so we found out that the tradition of flying flags at half-mast when an important figure dies is thought to have begun in the 17th century.
Right. So let's learn more about the tradition or the story behind this.
Okay. In 1612, the British ship Heart's Ease sailed to Greenland on an expedition.
Expedition 这个字好像很厉害耶。
Ah, yeah, you like it, huh? It's pretty fancy. So if you go organize a group of people to go explore a new area, we call this an expedition.
哦，所以 expedition 它就有这种探险、去远征，甚至可以表达探险队的意思。They're doing this for adventure or something like that.
Right.
To discover something. Right. So let's continue reading.
Okay, so blank. The ship's captain, James Hall, was killed after being attacked by natives.
Oh no. 好，他说空格这艘船的船长詹姆斯·赫尔在遭到当地人袭击后丧命。这边看我们副词，我们来看一看选项哦。Our options are
A. Fortunately.
幸运的，幸好。好。
Fortunately, he was killed.
Oh, that was the worst option.
B. Instead.
好，就是作为代替，反而。
C. Indeed.
的确，确实。
D. Sadly
就是令人难过、遗憾的，或是伤心的。同学们应该猜得出来，船长这个遇到袭击丧命，这是不幸的事，让人感到遗憾。语义上来看，就是要选 D. Sadly，
If you
令人难
didn't
过。
choose this one, there's something wrong with you.
Definitely 好，所以其他三个选项语义都不符合哦。那我们正确答案选好 ，So the correct sentence is
Sadly, the ship's captain, James Hall, was killed after being attacked by natives. Not by pirates. Maybe they were pirates. Pirates can be natives, right?
Perhaps.
Continuing the story. Blank, his crew lowered the ship's flag to half-mast.
好，他说空格船员将船上的旗帜降至半旗。这边看我们词组，来看看选项。Our options are
A. To be sure.
肯定的、当然或是不可否认的。
B. To mark his death.
为了纪念他的死亡，那么 mark 在这边当动词表示纪念，对什么表示敬意。
C. To make matters worse.
更糟的是，那么 matters 在这边固定用复数形，就是表达说可能你是正在讨论或是处理的问题。
D. To address this problem.
为了处理这个问题，那么 address 在这边不是当地址来解释，它是指处理呀、应付、解决的意思哦。好，那么课文前面提到船长遭到杀害，这个语义上来看就可以推测是要表达船员把船上的旗帜降到半旗，这个举动啊是为了纪念船长的死亡，向他表达敬意。所以呢，最适合答案选 B. To mark his death， 为了纪念他的死亡。
Right.
And the correct sentence is
To mark his death, his crew lowered the ship's flag to half-mast.
Oh, like to show respect for the captain.
Exactly. Well, they did this to make room for another, the invisible flag of death.
哦，所以降下来是为了要让出那个空间。
Yeah, to
Okay.
fly an invisible flag.
哦，那我们来看看，刚刚说这个 make room for something 就是腾出空间来 ，room 在这边就是空间，它是不可数。那我们还刚刚说到 invisible，
Right.
老师说什么意思？
Well, something is invisible, it's not visible, right?
Right.
So it means something is unable to be seen. You can't see it.
哦 visible 是可看见的嘛？那你在前面加上否定字首 I am invisible， 那就是看不见的或是无形的。
Not visible. Right.
Right.
So, for example, you could say invisible bacteria exist on the surface of many common items.
Right， 你看不到嘛？很多细菌
Everywhere-
随便一抓
everywhere.
你都看不到。
Don't
They-
think about it too much.
The bacteria are invisible.
Okay. Continuing. Today, this tradition is used by many governments around the world to signal the death of a national figure or to show sympathy for the death of another nation's leader.
哦，这让我想到那时候女王驾崩的时候，其实有一些国家也有降半旗
Right.
不只是只有英国而已，对不对？好，那这边还有两个单字，一个是 signal， 它当名词呢就有信号的意思，那么当动词可以去表达示意啊、发信号或者是去表示的那种意思。
Right.
So to signal is
It's to give somebody a signal,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's to let someone know to do something or that something is going to happen.
right.
You signal them.
Yeah.
So, for example, you can say the sound of trumpets playing signaled the king's arrival.
Oh, so the sound of trumpet playing is a signal.
It's a signal letting you know, hey, here comes the king.
Right， 好，下一个单字是 sympathy， 它就是同情或是同情心的意思，那它是不可数名词。Right, so sympathy is a kind of feeling that you
Right.
feel for somebody, right?
Right, because SYM here means like the same as, right? So if you have a feeling the same feeling as somebody else. It means that you can like show concern for somebody when they're feeling sad or upset. It's like you feel kind of like what they're feeling. You can understand how they're feeling, right?
所以老师在刚刚讲到这个 SYM 这个字首，它其实会有那种同步的那种感觉。然后这个 PATH 我记得它有 feeling 感受的意思，所以你跟人家有同感，就会有同情心的意思。Okay, for example,
you can say after being fired, Lucy went to her sister for sympathy.
Okay, so let's continue reading.
Okay, it blank a quiet, dignified way to show respect and sorrow for a country's great loss when words seem inadequate.
他说啊，当言语似乎不足以表达时，他空格一种安静有尊严的方式来展现对国家巨大损失的尊重和哀伤。这边用到 dignified 就是形容有尊严的或是庄严的。那他在考我们片语动词来看选项 ，Our options are
A calls for
需要要求
B tries out
尝试
C turns out
就有结果是什么，结局是什么的意思。
D serves as
作为什么的用途啊，或者是可以表达担任什么样的职务。语义上来看，应该是要表达它，也就是降半旗这个传统呢，可以作为一种安静有尊严的方式，去展现对国家巨大损失的尊重和哀伤。我们就用 serve as 去表达它有这样的用途，所以适合答案选 D serves as.
Right.
And the correct sentence is
It serves as a quiet, dignified way to show respect and sorrow for a country's great loss when words seem inadequate.
对，我觉得好像就看到那个旗慢慢降下来，你心里就会很哀伤。
Yeah.
你就会
You
想
can feel your mood goes down with the flag.
Exactly， 没错，就是那种感觉。好，那这边有一个单字叫 inadequate，它就是有那种不足、不够的意思。那跟我们前面提到一样，这个 in 是否定字首 ，adequate 是够，
Right.
那么 inadequate 就是不够。
Right.
Right.
So it just means like not enough, or or something's not good enough.
Right. 好，如果你考试考了成绩，如果是 inadequate， 就是完全不够。
It's not good enough, no.
如果是 adequate， 就是啊还可以啦。
Yeah, my grades were inadequate to go to Harvard.
大家都是没关系。Anyway, for example,
the soldiers were given inadequate supplies to survive for a long period of time.
Right. Okay. So that's it for today's article.
Right. Okay.
Right.
And I think maybe we should have a moment of silence for the Queen.
我们也学到降半旗的英文哦。
Moment of silence. Okay, now go ahead.
讲完了。
In September 2022, for a period of 10 days in Britain, all flags on government buildings were lowered to half-mast. Flags flew not at the top of, but rather part-way down their poles. The action was done in honor of Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 9th. The tradition of flying flags at half-mast when an important figure dies is thought to have begun in the 17th century. In 1612, the British ship Heart's Ease sailed to Greenland on an expedition. Sadly, the ship's captain, James Hall, was killed after being attacked by natives. To mark his death, his crew lowered the ship's flag to half-mast. They did this to make room for another, the invisible flag of death. Today, this tradition is used by many governments around the world to signal the death of a national figure or to show sympathy for the death of another nation's leader. It serves as a quiet, dignified way to show respect and sorrow for a country's great loss when words seem inadequate.
The northeast monsoon blows in Luzon during autumn and winter. To block strong winds and to deter bandits, the alleys in Luzon were designed to be twisty and narrow. The most famous alley of all in Luzon is Nine Turns Lane, which twists and turns to the point where your head spins, but also creates the sensation that you're playing hide and seek. These twisty alleys offer one of Luzon's 8 wonders, known as sunny winters in the twisty alleys. Because these alleys were designed to block out sandstorms in October and be immune to snowfall even after 9 consecutive days of snow. Morlu Lane, which is on Chai Yuan Road, is famous all around Taiwan. It is also known as Gentleman Lane. Morloo Lane is a lane for escape from fires for the adjacent longhouses and shops. At its narrowest parts, it is less than 70 centimeters wide. Therefore, when men and women used to walk through Morloo Lane, physical contact was inevitable. This is how Morloo Lane, which literally means touch breast lane, got its name. In traditional Taiwanese society, people yearned to have sons to the point that they would dream about it at night. Morloo Lane, being narrow and long, reflected people's long dreams. Thus, this long lane was referred to as Mong Lin, dreaming of a son, lane, in Mandarin, which in Taiwanese sounds similar to Morloo Lane. Over time, people began calling this narrow lane Morloo Lane. If you walk through the Lugon City God Temple and onto Zhongshan Road, past the square, and enter Hoche Lane, you'll arrive at a place that has a spooky name, the Hungry Ghost Market. This place used to be a market, where workers at the shipyards would eat after a hard day's work. The workers were always extremely hungry, and tended to eat without much etiquette. Hence the market was given the name the Hungry Ghost Market.